Friday night, the Blue Ridge Parkway, and the beginning of a murder investigation.
I'm flabbergasted.
For several hours, the focus on this area near mile marker 393. That's between Hendersonville Road and the Brevard Road Bridge.
The victim in this case, all we know is that it is a juvenile.
No. Justin, no. Oh, Lord, I hope not. Okay.
We'd later find out the victim was a 6-year-old little girl who family members and the medical examiner identified as Lila Pickering, a first grader at Johnston Elementary. Her father charged with murder, her mother in Florida after leaving Seth Pickering a year and a half ago.
I went to leave and the cop was supposed to send Lila with me and he didn't. And I've been fighting with the courts in D.C.
But back in the Leicester area where Pickering lives, SpongeBob shades and all, neighbors are stunned after replaying Seth Pickering's moves the final hours before his daughter was found.
You can hear when someone goes to the trash, so I know that's where he went. And I saw the stuffed animal. When you leave, you'll see the little rabbit on the ground. That was, I just assumed he was just throwing some of his daughter's, toys away.
Hours later, Captain John Elkins with the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office says the park rangers noticed a vehicle parked on the parkway, not in a pull-off. They got out to investigate and found Lila.
It tears me apart.
A grandmother heartbroken for herself and her daughter.
There's not one thing I can say or do that's going to help.
With so many questions surrounding the death of this little girl.
If he has done something against a child or juvenile, may God have mercy on his soul. That's not tolerable.
News 13's Justin Hinton is continuing to follow this case. And Justin, what have you learned?
Well, from federal court documents released today, we're learning more about what happened last Friday night out here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And we want to warn you, you might find some of the details disturbing. New court documents provide the timeline of what took place Friday night that led up to the death of 6-year-old Lila Pickering. 5:20, they state, just down this Buncombe County road, Seth Pickering took Lila from the home of her temporary DHHS-appointed custodian. That custodian saying, quote, "Seth, please don't do this. They will put you in jail," while he shook his head and drove off with Lila. Around 6 p.m., documents state, Buncombe County deputies worked on that missing persons report. But little did they know, the Pickerings were on the Blue Ridge Parkway, discovered by 2 park rangers, investigating something different. Seth's car, parked in the wrong spot near mile marker 393, and deeper into the woods, an illegal campsite and illegal campfire. Just before 7, investigators reported approaching Seth to talk about those suspected violations, him turning away, then lunging toward Lila before the ranger shouted, quote, "Did you just stab her?" before seeing her on the ground with a knife in her chest. The documents indicate one ranger cuffed Seth while the other tried to save Lila, but it was too late. She died at the scene. According to court documents, when asked why, Pickering responded, quote, "Now they will never be able to take her away from me," further saying something to the effect of, "She's happier now. It's what she wanted." It wasn't until Pickering was back at the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office speaking with detectives that he went into more detail about why he did it. Court documents indicating he told investigators, quote, 10 minutes before he got there, my daughter made me promise that they would never take her away from me again. I reacted the only way I knew, that she could go to sleep without having to cry, Daddy, I want to come home." Love latches on to 6-year-old Lila Pickering's desk.
A happy-go-lucky child.
Messages from Johnston Elementary classmates, teachers, and staff members coping with her death. Even more drawings collected across the school. The principal says will go up on a bulletin board.
We're figuring some things out and trying to make plans for how we as a community, a school community, can say goodbye to her and have some closure.
But getting to this point, just 3 days after investigators say the 6-year-old was killed, it's been no easy feat.
Having to call my teachers was the hardest thing I've ever done.
From the teachers to the students, guided by 18 crisis counselors, standing at the ready to lend support, especially for the younger kids at Johnston Elementary.
They may be confused later on and expect that she'll be coming back to class. So we try to work with that child where they are.
The first day of a new normal at the Buncombe County School. And the first day to get a glimpse of the man investigators say stabbed her. Her father, Seth Pickering, making his first court appearance. 2 parts of a story, leaving new wounds for loved ones, trying to make sense of the murder of a little girl.
Just a very well-behaved, sweet child, and everybody who knew her would love her.
News 13's Justin Hinton has been following this case and joins us live. Justin, you have some new information for us.
Yeah, that's right. We're at the former home of Seth Pickering. That's what neighbors have been telling us, or at least former neighbors of his. We spoke to one woman who said that FBI agents have been in this neighborhood talking to them, trying to figure out what exactly led up to this. Now, as we were talking to that woman, we spotted two individuals leaving one of those homes. Now, we were talking to the neighbor at this time, and she said that she recognized one of those people as an FBI agent that had been talking to her the previous day. She says that they had been asking questions, trying to get a better idea of what could have possibly led up to Friday's events. She tells us after hearing the details herself, she didn't know what to think, especially for her granddaughter who played with Lila.
It's like a family member. It's like somebody you know every day. It was the craziest feeling that came over me, and honestly, I haven't been able to just rest.
Now, those newly returned search warrants are also shining more light about what the FBI agents took from Pickering's most recent home and car. A few things of note from the search warrants of the home include a small kitchen block containing 7 knives and a large knife block containing 8 knives. And then from his Dodge Avenger found on the Parkway, we're learning that FBI agents took a handwritten note, a knife, plastic bags, and a handwritten receipt. Now, we're continuing to follow up this story, and of course, we'll bring you the latest on air and online. Reporting live in Buncombe County, Justin Hinton, News 13.
Seth Pickering was supposed to be part of a program designed to help turn his life around, but he was arrested 3 days before what would have been his first class. News 13's Justin Hinton spoke exclusively with the director of that program.
Justin joins us live from the Family Justice Center. Justin.
Yeah, that's right. Pastor Ronald Gates tells me that it all started with a meeting right inside there that ended with hope, but tragedy struck before any further meetings could take place. Mondays and Wednesdays, the days these chairs get filled with eager dads looking to have a place in their kids' lives. And a place Seth Pickering was supposed to go after a child and family team meeting with DSS representatives and Pastor Ronald Gates, the director of the 24/7 Dad program.
They had a wonderful plan set up, and one of the plans was fathering skills. That was one area that he didn't have a strong component in, and so they said, well, this will be something beneficial for him.
A plan we've learned from an open records request from Buncombe County Health and Human Services that also included support for substance use. Pastor Gates says Pickering's first day of class should have been Monday, September 12th. But 3 days earlier, court documents indicate Pickering stabbed his daughter Lila to death right in front of park rangers.
I'm like, oh my, we just had, just sat down with Seth and, put in a wonderful plan for him. And the next thing you know, I hear this, and that was devastating. He was in agreement with everything that they was laying out. He was in agreement to, participate and take whatever measures, to get his little girl back.
He says he can't begin to guess where it all went wrong, but says he has no doubt had Pickering showed up, he could have been helped, like 2 other classes of graduates.
So I know that he was going to grab the information and put it into practice. I know that, I know that just because the love for his daughter.
But instead of a celebration and graduation balloons, it's bars, as Pickering awaits his trial in the murder charge of his daughter.